Today we're going to install the RADHAUS cold air intake. This is for the 95B.1 2015 to 2018 Porsche Macan. Should fit any model. This kit's going to include 2 ducts, 2 screws, 2 washers, and 2 spacers. The spacers may or may not be used depending on your application. My car is absolutely filthy after a 1,200-mile road trip to visit Tall Kyle. He's right there, shout out. First thing we're going to do is pop the hood and then take off the pins that cover the front tray there. Pretty easy, just grabbed a screwdriver, popped all 4 of those pins out. As you'll see, it comes off in a matter of just a couple minutes. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of the hood latch. Just slide a screwdriver behind it, grab the pin in the back, pull the latch straight up, and pull the lever off. Next thing you're going to do is pull the tray up and out, and it should come right off. Next thing you're going to want to do, and this is critical, undo all 4 of the mounting bolts that secure the bumper on the top. You'll notice we have one of the ducts in there, but it's pretty tough to get it in without doing this step. So very, very important, undo those bolts. So next, what you're going to want to do once those bolts are loose, pull the bumper back a little bit. You can give it a good tug, and it's not going to ruin anything. You really want to just create as much space as possible for mounting those ducts. The next step is already done, but you're going to want to cut off that little trim piece that's covering that middle hole there. So this shows how you install the duct on the Turbo and GTS models. You slide it right through, flip it up, and then it should be right in the location that it needs to be. You kind of fish it, snake it up through. I find that it's much easier in those Turbo and GTS models to slide it through one of the bottom slats there. And then you'll notice that it rests there. What you do not want to do is you're never going to want to force the duct in place. So if there's ever a point in time where you're really pushing on it, that's where you could have some trouble with it cracking. So it should just slide in pretty easily. If it's not sliding in, you want to pull back on the bumper further. Next thing you're going to want to do is just align it to the inside of the grill, and it should be pretty flush. You're not going to want to see any of the tabs sticking out. But again, you're not going to be forcing anything. It should just fit right in place before you tighten that bolt. So the driver's side is a little bit more tricky because you have the hood latch. A lot easier. My right hand is pushing down on the hood latch. That loosens it up for you. You can kind of see the mechanism working here. So press down on it. You don't even need a screwdriver or any kind of pliers or anything. Just press it down, give it some slack, pull that pin out, and it should come free pretty easily. So this is an alternate method for installing the ducts. The base and S models are going to require this, so you're going to want to slip the duct in through the top hole. Again, this is actually pretty straightforward and fairly simple, but you're just going to want to make sure that you're fishing the cable through that hole first before proceeding with the rest of the duct installation. I should mention, it's not a race. It's something that, takes some time. I've installed probably 25 of these different variants on our own cars in development of this duct here. So have some practice for sure, but definitely want to get everything in place. Next thing I'm doing is, aligning everything with the bumper and the clips on the duct first. Notice that nothing is screwed in just yet, because if you do that, you're going to have a hard time, getting everything lined up perfectly, and that's where you can run into some trouble with cracking things. So next we're ready to put the cable release back in place. everything's all lined up. And that's where we will, we're happy with the positioning, so we'll make sure that those tabs are nice and flush with the rest of the grill. It should fit pretty much OEM, should look OEM, nice and clean installation here. Notice again, nothing was forced, it just fell right in place. On mine, I don't have adaptive cruise control, so there is a little bit of a gap between the tabs and the body of the car where things screw in. That's where you use those spacers. So you can slip one underneath the tab for the duct, and that should allow for a nice clean installation. So here we are ready to install the bolts. Take the washer, put it over the flange, really, tighten things down nice, even pressure, avoids any kind of situation where things are getting cracked. Hand tightening things are fine here. You don't really need to torque on it too hard. Just double check your fitment, and then you're ready to secure the bumper. So push back on it, make sure everything's lined up tight, and then you have all 4 of those bolts to secure again. So this gives you an idea of how it's installed. So you'll see kind of you're gathering air from the outside of the car, and then it's being forced up through, that cavity, which is actually closed. Once the hood is closed, you'll notice the seal at the top, and then those 2 holes in the top of the hood route air up through those ducts and into the air filters, like I'm pointing at in the video here. So next, you're going to want to install the trim. Make sure that that's all popped in correctly. Apologies for all the dirt. About a 1,200 mile trip in the snow and salt. Wish I had a clean car, but had to get the video done as soon as I could. So shout out to Tall Kyle, borrowing his shop, and he's been a big partner to me in all of this, getting everything done. So that shows the final result, nice and smooth. Website, radhauswheels.com. Any questions, you can email sales@radhauswheels.com. Thanks for watching, guys.